hum low like thunder in the pews.
Preacher on the live stream selling cable news.
Hands in the air, but the heart off key singing.
God bless war while the poor can't breathe.
Politicians in the front row grinning for a shot. Signed every bill that put chains on the block. Passed those pills, passed those bombs overseas. Then came his Sunday talking liberty. We've been shouting amen
Over blood on the land.
Men in the back
With a phone in their hand.
If the house falls down when the storm clouds spread,
God's gone, that's where were the men I led.
Lord, we need
Fire in the bones again.
raise up fathers,
Not just fans of men.
tear down idols in a holy flood.
Wash this country in the truth and blood.
If the choir gon' sing,
Let them sing what's real.
not a brand, not a lie.
Not a sponsor's deal.
Turn the stage from a show
Back to what you said.
one small candle in the dark.
Called index red.
I see pastors in suits with a donor on the line,
Trade your word cheap for a seed and a shine.
blessing politicians when they walk through the door,
Never asked once what they voted for.
talking about values with a script in hand, while they sell our kids for a hashtag plan. Every movement got a merge page, every cause got a fee, but nobody wants to cross our responsibility. You said
Watchmen standing on the wall at night.
we got
Watchmen sleeping under neon lights.
Somebody's gotta break from the current and say, we've been frauds, Lord, lead us your way. Lord, we need
Fire in the bones again. Raise up fathers, not just fans of men.
tear down
Idols in a holy flood. Wash this country in the truth and blood.
if the choir gon' sing,
Let them sing what's real.
not a brand, not a lie.
Not a sponsor's deal.
Turn the stage from a
Go
show
back to what you said.
one small candle in the dark.
Called index red.
There's a voice in the wilderness, it's late at night.
Calling men home to pick up the fight.
Not with pride, not with empty noise, but with fear of God and a shepherd's poise. Name on the mic, but the glory yours. Osiris just pointing where the river pours. If the remnant small, let the remnant stand with a Bible, with courage, with a callous hand. Oh, Lord, we need
Fire in the bones again.
raise up
Fathers, not just fans of men.
tear down idols in a holy flood.
Wash this country in the truth and blood.
If the choir gon' sing,
Let them sing what's real.
not a brand, not a lie.
Not a sponsor's deal.
Break these chains from the ground to the shed till all that's left in the dark.
Dark is what you said.
Massie hit back on, beam sharp like a blade in the dark. I ain't reading all that, watch the timeline spark. Liberty hold strong while the caps lock rage fall apart. Kentucky stand firm, real America first from the heart. Yeah, peep the play, Trump on truth, blast and furious, caps loud and wild. Calling Massie weak, RINO, third rate, pathetic, saying he blocked the child. But Tommy stay ice, drop that screenshot, cold, precise like a sniper shot. Happy for you though, sorry that drama hit your spot. Whole platform erupt, slow, liberty warriors rise from deep Kentucky ground. While MAGA push blind loyalty hard, Massie hold a constitution crown. From the rolling farmhill straight into corrupt marble halls deep. He the lone voice standing tall, know the endless wars, know the deficits creep. Venezuela outrage, drop heavy special forces, snatch by the road for oil claim. Tommy call it raw, no drug cover high, just regime change game. Wake up soldiers, true, we post clear bold. Founders lock war power, tighten Congress grip. Not one man unchecked swings, wow, that's how freedom don't slip. Trump seal full endorsement, heavy back Captain Ed like perfect vet cast. Navy SEAL strong farmer, roots deep, but Massie principles iron last. Gallrein pledge total, shoulder close, echo every command, proud and clear. Massie remind world quiet, still Constitution supreme, no fear. Every Every fresh top strike come down, spark grassroots donation wave crash hard. Every day folks open while it's quick, send a surge, Liberty Guard. They hit him solo fierce cause he won't sign foreign aid, rivers run free. Won't back that for sit stack mountains tall, won't bow to war's decree. Ran posted deep in the cut, solid yes, rain million stacks for the real cause. Count a super pack, floods pour heavy, Liberty flame never pause. Party crack split wide open, slow like a demand, full Neil silence deep. But messy voice unchill, sharp cut, true limited government key. Kentucky earth hold 'em rooted down, on this layback smoke trail we glide. He on a digital war ground firm, turn rage into gold legend wide. This primary class bigger than one lone sea proxy for America. First breath, true liberty army stand versus blind followers. We deep with the men who cut through.
I'm not really a Bulls fan. I just like this sweater. I had this sweater for 10 years. It still feels brand new. I don't know what quality NBA jerseys are at, but it's quality. I went to a Bulls game over the holidays. I would never pay money to see a regular season basketball game nowadays. So it wasn't on my dime, but went with a few people. The tickets probably cost over a G in the nosebleed. There's a lot of things I'd rather do than pay a G to go to a regular season basketball game. This was the one where they got blown out by Minnesota. Josh Giddey, who's actually a really good player. I like Josh Giddey a lot. He got hurt, and it was a wrap. But the Bulls they're horrible. But I don't even watch the NBA anymore, and I'm like, damn. But Thomas Massie got your boy Trump today. Got him. The first thing is that it's just sad that this is what politics is become. I mean, go on damn near every show, including mine, politically, that it's talking about X, putting X up on the screen. And these politicians do nothing. Donald Trump does absolutely nothing other than be the face of legit evil in the world, controlled by legit evil in the world. And it all comes down to like social media at this point. They're all social media-ites, all of them. Thomas Massie, MTG. That's why she quit. She got her bag. Why did she need to play this charade, this fake game of going to DC a few times a month to not vote, to get money for fundraising? She's already turned the bag over multiple times and millions are falling out. It's not just Ilhan Omar, it's MTG, it's all of them. They go in worth X and they leave worth 30X, 10X. I mean, if you have the heart, you just stay in there and you print money and do absolutely nothing. So it comes down to, I ain't reading all that on Twitter. That's what it comes down to. It comes down to Donald Trump being Aaron Rodgers on the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not that bad, but Patrick Ewing on the Seattle Supersonics, I believe. Patrick Ewing on the Orlando Magic. It's Hakeem Olajuwon on the Toronto Raptors. It's Vince Carter on whatever team he ended up on in the league, on the Dallas Mavericks. It's not even Jordan on the Wizards. Trump's not even at that level. It's Shaquille O'Neal on the Cleveland Cavs. You're watching a guy and you still look at him as if he is something. And he's 80 years old and who knows who's running their Twitter accounts. They're responsible for it if they do something crazy. So I'm going to give them credit for it when it bangs. It doesn't matter if they wrote it or not. Donald Trump is writing books. I mean, I write a lot on these platforms just because I just verbal vomit and I can do AI stuff with it. So I have a purpose for it, but nobody reading all that. Nobody's reading that. These are social media. Like you look at the first sentence and you scroll. It's death scrolling. TikTok, Twitter has always been like that. They can give you an infinite character limit, but you look at the tweets that blow up, it's a picture and a smiley face. It's a picture and 3 words. Ain't nobody got time for all that. Who is running Trump's social media account where he's just doing multiple paragraphs, paragraph after paragraph? Bruh, what happened to you? You used to be used to be the GOAT. Trump used to be the GOAT. I don't know what happened. To get got by Thomas Massie it's like Tyrone Hill dunking on Michael Jordan. It's like Eric Snow dunking on a great. It's like Eric Snow dunking on Dr. J or something like that. It's not what's supposed to happen. That's my lead story today. The lead story is X today. Is what two buffoons. I'm not against Thomas Massie here and on this topic, but it's not like I revere this dude either. But it's two buffoons going back and forth on Twitter. One buffoon's better than the other. I will completely admit that, and I will give them credit when that's the case. But how did they even clash? This has been brewing for years, going back to the COVID stuff. And Massie was the only vote against it, which is, we really do need to go back and look at that and figure out what the hell happened. How are these people still acting like they have authority when there was only one person? The vote didn't mean anything, but still, he has to get some credit for that. The one person voted against the vote that created a lot of this, that bill that Massie voted against, and everyone else did vote for, and Trump is attacking Massie now still because of, in part, that's where some of that Somali fraud came from. That's where some of that Somali fraud money came from. That's where some of all this fraud money came from. The ridiculous money spending bills. And that's when Trump was completely out on Massie. And now Trump is endorsing a retired Navy SEAL because you like to have that Army kind of pedigree when you're going up against Massie. I'm sure you want that, and that's what Trump's going for. He is backing this retired Navy SEAL, Ed Gallrein, in a bid to upseat Thomas Massie. So Trump posts this wild tirade on True Social, which nobody is. Who's going to? Are you going to True Social? I don't know. Maybe people are going there. I was on there for a little bit back when it first kind of popped off. I'm not involved with True Social at all anymore. I still have an account. I was posting like little links on there at one time. But Trump goes off on Massie with all caps. I wonder what percentage of people actually read the whole thing. Very small, I would guess. He said some of the lowlights or highlights, depending on where you're at now. He said Massie was the worst Republican congressman we've had in many years. Really? Right after Trump took the picture with Lindsey Graham holding a hat that said, "Make Iran great again." You're one of the worst. I saw Owen Schroyer saying it, and he said Trump could become, Owen, we're there. He already had a term. He had one of the most disastrous first years of a term of any president. Donald Trump is worse. I never thought I would say this, even though I didn't vote for Donald Trump, obviously. Absolutely worse than Joe Biden. Horrific first year as president. I say he's worse than Obama was. That's how bad he is now. You have to factor in a lot. Him being a snake in the grass, him flipping, selling out the movement. That Obama didn't sell out any movement. He kind of flipped. He wasn't the guy that I thought he was when I voted for him in 2008 and 2012. But he didn't sell out a movement. Obama didn't sell out any movement. He was a fake. He was a phony. But that wasn't a devoted group that had God, family, country. That was just a bunch of blacks including myself, just voting for a black. And in the moment, I knew, like, am I really a black voting for a black because he's a black? And there was stuff to like about Obama, what he said. You go back and listen to some of his speeches. It's really unbelievable. He'd be a right-wing nut job at this point. But Donald Trump had the hearts, the minds, the creativity of, I thought, people with good hearts. But if we're supporting, or if you're supporting some of this stuff, I think we have to question where you're at on certain things. And took that. So Obama created Trump. Trump came in saying no wars, basically. I know he said if we're gonna take the oil, if we're gonna do Iraq, we should take the oil. But the position was we shouldn't have done Iraq. And he came at Jeb Bush right on that topic. He came at Marco Rubio at that topic. Lindsey Graham didn't like him. His own vice president didn't like him. All these guys, Ben Shapiro didn't like him. Now they love him because he became that thing that we thought he was against. We thought he was the Molotov cocktail, and he turned out that he was not. He was the accelerant to the deep state, renaming the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Massie, whether he's legit or not, or I don't even know if I want to say that, effective or not. He's not effective. I can't blame him all on that, but I just have to call a spade a spade. He's not effective at convincing anybody at their position. At times, he's been disrespectful of the larger movement for no reason, and I've criticized him for that. But Donald Trump is the one that is a turncoat. Donald Trump is the RINO. Well, I don't even like the term RINO because Republicans are what they are. But he's the one, if you're going to call somebody a RINO, he's the RINO. So he's doing all caps, and he's talking about Massie as the worst Republican congressman we've had in many years. MAGA, if there's any maggots that still listen to this channel, I don't have any beef with you. I call it what it is. If you listen to this channel, you cannot in good faith tell me that makes any sense. You cannot tell me with a straight face, without lying, that you think that Thomas Massie is the worst Republican congressman we've had in many years. You just can't tell me that. If you're telling me that, then there's some type of disconnect. There's something off in your brain, that you're almost a caricature of like a MAGA person that is all Trump. You're what the left said you were. You are that, and I can't get this buffoon out of my head. I don't want to use the word coon, but that's what comes to mind. The big black, I don't know if you've seen the big black guy who sits down, has a big feast on TikTok, takes a bite of food, and then dances like the biggest minstrel show clown that you've ever seen in your life. And that's what you are, but with a MAGA hat on. And you're not acting as the black like he does, but you're acting as that MAGA figure. If you agree with Thomas Massie is the worst Republican congressman we've had in many years, even from a hyperbole standpoint where Trump is always exaggerating, even from that standpoint, it makes no damn sense. You have nobody else to go after, more importantly, than Thomas Massie. He went on urging all MAGA warriors, because he's got whoever's still with Trump, you're completely bought in on the Kool-Aid and everything. So you're the MAGA warriors to rally behind Gallrein. Let me guess. I'm not even going to check. Let me guess. Gallrein believes that Israel is God's chosen, the modern country that we call Israel are God's chosen people and God's chosen land. I don't even know. I'm not even going to say allegedly. I don't even know. I could do a blind test. It's really silly at this point. We know that obviously he's probably one of the most Zionist guys you can get out there. That's what it comes down to. All MAGA warriors to rally behind this guy. How's that pick looking, libertarians? I'm not much better than you. But I was out during just for the record, libertarians. And I backed you too. I am not even knocking you. Josie, I think Josie was on that. Dave Smith, um, any of the other ones, I don't remember off the top of my head, so I'm just not going to really call names. If you're libertarian, you fall. I defended the libertarians that brought, and I still say you bring Trump in. I don't even know if I changed that take. I'll have to revisit that though, in light of where we're at. But the part I'm talking about is they backed him. The Nick Fuentes, America First, said, hell no. Here's what we want. You ain't where we need you to be. I don't care if Kamala Harris wins. What are we? Just voting blue, voting red, no matter who? No. But libertarians, for whatever reason, said they're voting Trump. Well, you got Ross Ulbricht pardoned or commuted. Well, no, he got pardoned, I believe. He got the full pardon. I did a video on that. You got what you wanted, I guess. Was it worth it? That was not mine. That was not my number one thing. But so Massie is the closest to a libertarian in Congress. He's the closest to Ron Paul. Rand Paul, the son, is all right. I don't even know if I want to say that. He's not the first person I'm going to criticize in Congress. I will tell you that for sure. But he's not his daddy. Thomas Massie is more in that vein. And the guy you voted for is just nonstop attacking. And libertarians, I need you to have some more energy right now. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to look at the Mises Caucus thing. That thing just fell apart, man. I don't know what happened. And I really like those guys. There's no beef at all from it. I don't know what happened. I mean, it just fell apart. I don't know where it is, where we're doing, what's going on. Man. I still haven't. Is Jordan Lott in the building? Jordan, help. What happened? Man, the Mises Caucus was on a trajectory. And I told that Michael Rector, well, I'm off on the topic, man, but damn. But the topic is back Trump. Trump turned out to be the most warmongering president I think we've ever seen. This bro already talking about Colombia, Cuba, Iran. I'm like, damn, we haven't even secured Venezuela yet. Can we do one at a time? That's how empires fall, y'all. He's talking shit to Colombia, Cuba. You think that's based? And you're going to go after Thomas Massie? You got other stuff to deal with. They're setting up to blame the Thomas Massies, the Tucker Carlsons, the Candace Owens, the Nick Fuentes, and they're setting up to blame them for the fall of the midterms. There's going to be a blood. I said I was going to get out of the prediction game. Maybe this is good for you if you're still with MAGA. It's going to be a political bloodbath. It's going to be ugly, man. Ain't nobody amped up to see a Venezuelan occupation. What are you talking about, man? You got to be 40 years old to afford a home. To maybe afford a home. Is capturing Maduro going to help with that? How's American infrastructure looking? How many times am I going to have to go to TikTok to look at China and be like, huh? Do I need to roll up just to make sure that this is real? Our cities aren't even safe. They're doing syncopation with drones and building lights. I'm like, what the? They're building bridges in a year, 2 years, 3 years. I mean, it's just, have you seen some of the subway, the train stations? Clean, modern. Have you been to airports across this country? Man, and you're invading Venezuela? Why? You're not tying that into anything that I care about. So don't go after Thomas Massie. I'm not even the biggest Thomas Massie fan. Don't do that, though. He's going after the biggest libertarian. Trump says, third-rate, weak, and pathetic RINO, if you don't know, Republican in name only, obviously, who only votes against the Republican Party, making life very easy for the radical left. We're still doing that stuff. He's 80 years old. He doesn't even know how like we think anymore. I'm the some of the grapers who watch the show, they call me Unc. I'm old. I'm almost 50. And I think I'm a little bit more in tune with what's happening. Nobody cares about the radical left. What is that? Nobody cares. That doesn't scare anybody. I'm not concerned about the radical left. I know there was a little bit of that came up after the Charlie Kirk stuff. I think for the most part that's gone. Who are you talking about with the radical left? I'm worried about the radical right. And I'm not talking about Nick Fuentes. I'm talking about Trump. I'm talking about the Zionists that like Mark Levin. They're just literally they're writing tweets, but you can picture them foaming at the mouth. It's not just about the money for them. It's deeper than the money. They're out here trying to survive. The rabid. I'm worried about the rabid right. I'm not the woke right. I know they tried to make that stick. It didn't stick, guys. Nice try. Nice try with that. I'm worried about the rabid, unhinged right. Have you seen Mark Levin's tweets lately? How's that going? He's going at everybody. Mark Levin went at Josie the redheaded libertarian. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was God's side. I'm mixing up my rabid Jews. I'm trying to keep them straight. You've got Laura Loomer, God Sod, or however you pronounce his name, Mark Levin, and it's infinite amount of them. He's just going crazy on X. I'm not worried about the radical left, Donald. He went on to say and vowed that Captain Ed Gallrein is a winner who will not let Kentucky down. So they're going hard because it's tough. I don't know the relationship with Massie and his people there. It's strong. I know that. I don't know how it's strong. If they just know him, is it just a real libertarian? That's something I really need to look into because that's very based that they are so strong that AIPAC can't break them. At some point they can. They just throw they have infinite funds. So they'll throw whatever they need at it. I fully understand and expect that. But right now, as of this point, obviously he's still there. We don't know if he's going to run for president. There are rumors that he would. He's been in Congress for quite some time, and I wouldn't blame him if he wanted to get out and do something else. You really only want to be in Congress for so long. You don't want to be in Congress forever, especially if you're Thomas Massie and you want to do some other things. So we'll see what he does there. I'm going to see if I can get some comments up. Just a late night stream. We talk about Massie. We'll see if I have time for other stuff. I do have other topics. I am crashing the hell out on Ashley St. Clair. She just getting on my damn nerves. Ashley St. Clair. Maybe we'll get to that. The other topic was, I wanted to look into. I'm not very knowledgeable on it. I want to kind of do a working session on these. I've seen Drake for years now, and we'll get back to Massie a little bit, but I might want to get to Drake, and I've seen Aiden Ross because here's how it came up. I'm like, how is Aiden Ross so rich? How is he so well off? Not that I'm saying I don't care if somebody's well off. I just wanted to know how did this happen, and I'm just kind of looking into it, still looking, because it came up where I saw Clavicular showing off this really, nice penthouse. I think it was in New York or somewhere. And he said something like Aiden Ross gave it to him or something. He said something to the effect like something had to do with Aiden Ross. I'm like, what? Aiden Ross is so nice right now with his that he could just toss people penthouses that look like they're millions potentially. Like how well off is this dude? It's just I don't know. So I wanted to look into that a little bit. But let's look at the comments. It says Trump is still crying about losing 2020 election, and he's president now. He's been sounding like a broken record. I don't know. I was talking about 2020. I don't even care about 2020 anymore, to be honest with you. I'm not changing my take on 2020. I just don't care. The rhetoric from Trump and his administration has been crazy off the hook. The rhetoric, and this is from Will. Thanks, Will. The rhetoric from Trump is, yeah, it's been off the hook. He's dominated the news for a long time. And I think he's found it harder to dominate the news cycle, even though he still dominates it. Now it's big events. So you had the Epstein files, and he's like, man, how do I get out of it? He's getting out of it. Even the Middle East, they do the kind of the peace agreement, basically, and there's really no peace agreement. It's not really a peace agreement. There's still, it's kind of like a slowdown, but Israel's still there. Now they're going to, maybe they wanted to stop on Gaza and they're on Lebanon again. There's no stoppage of the bombs from Israel. That's just not a thing. So he kind of shifted the topic. You don't really hear about Gaza as much, even though there's no real great update there as far as peace or anything. And he gets credit for peace a little bit. So he's doing this thing where he kind of gets credit. Like they indicted Letitia. Did they indict Letitia James? And that fell apart, I believe. And then he's talking about now, I might look at George Soros. So he's always these big things, like he's not doing anything with Soros. There's nothing substantial going to happen there, but he kind of gets credit from it. And he gives that fodder to the MAGA people to kind of spray all over the place. And so he does Venezuela. Then he gives the MAGA fodder for the memes and people like that to spread all this propaganda. Elon Musk spreading the propaganda. They're doing a very good job of that. So when we're not talking about the Epstein files anymore, it's done. If there's an accusation, and I am going forward assuming that Donald Trump was a part. I don't know anything for 100%, but I have the right to assume in my own head that Donald Trump did something inappropriate with Epstein. I don't know where on the island or whatever else. At this point, I've gone over the list of things that are like, damn, how did all this happen with Epstein? That's all beneficial to covering up the Epstein, and I'm going to let you off the hook. I'm going to give you this benefit of the doubt. No, that's done. So he moved the topic to Venezuela, moved the topic to Iran. Venezuela just happened. And we've got, I haven't even done a segment on the girlfriend, not even wife, of his FBI director suing Elijah Schaffer and Sam Parker. That's what we were supporting MAGA for? The girlfriend of his own FBI director is suing them over just normal free speech, normal criticism of the girlfriend of the FBI director. I don't know where the lawsuit stuff is now, but so he went to that. Then he kind of covered up that because he went to something else, and now it's going to be something else the next time. Now it's the Thomas Massie stuff. He's pretty good at changing the topic. He's always been great at that. Got to give him credit for that. He's one of the greatest. I'm going to take a little bit of credit back from Trump, though, because he's a great propagandist, always has been, but he has the backing of the propaganda machine of the country that is built for propaganda. That's why they run Hollywood. Hollywood is nothing but propaganda for entertainment. Name one of your favorite shows. They're behind it. Just pretty much. I guarantee you there's one of them behind it. They're very good at it. But he has the backing of that. So it helps him a lot. He wouldn't be dominating the news every day if he had switched his position on the people and those who run Hollywood. He wouldn't have their backing. He wouldn't have the every day. Oh, wow. What is this? Indiana Congressman Jim Baird, I'm not familiar with him, and wife hospitalized after car crash. Is that Breaking news there. Kelly says, I love Trump, just joined in. Don't know what you're talking about, but have a good one. Make America great again. That's funny. If you're a MAGA, you come in like, what's going on here? All right. Hello, I'm out. Make America great again. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yes. Yeah, she's like, I'm out. I don't blame you. You gotta get in, get out. Yeah, I don't know what the channel is, y'all. I don't know what it is. So if you want to know, this is a Nick Fuentes America First, basically channel at this point, guys. So going back to the beef there between Massie and Trump, it's crazy. So he's doing this to get hype, and Massie replying to it actually kind of helps the contender, but Massie replied very nice. I'll get to that. Trump gave his complete and total endorsement to this challenger, calling Massie a weak and pathetic RINO, must be thrown out of office ASAP. The former president praised Gallrein, who is a 67-year-old farmer, businessman, and decorated SEAL captain, as central casting material and a true patriot. Trump is very good at that. Trump doesn't miss often, and I'm talking about with the women he surrounds himself with. I mean, even the ones I'm not a fan of, they're better than, you can see where he's working. Kristi Noem was a lock. I should have known. She was a lock for something. Pam Bondi. What is she? She's like 70 years old. She looks a lot younger, even though, she's not attractive or like that, but she's not ugly. She central casting. She could play the part in a movie. He officially filed to run for Congress, Gallrein, and Trump said he's asking all MAGA warriors to rally behind Captain Ed Gallrein as the best positioned candidate to defeat Massie. So now they're going after Massie. So how much money is being spent? I mean, you deserve to lose the midterms. I hope you lose the midterms. And I hope you're impeached and removed from office. I really do hope that. This is just disgusting. This is what you prioritize. All the stuff going on in the world right now, all the stuff that could be looked at or discussed in our country, this is the all caps energy. Is to go after Thomas Massie. So they already put Trump's aligned PAC, Political Action Committee, already poured over $1 million into ads attacking Massie, even before Gallrein entered the race. They're piling money into a House seat race that's already, they don't treat Massie as Republican because he doesn't vote with them enough. But it's already there. What are you doing? Ed Gallrein is a retired Navy SEAL. Let's talk about who he is. Kentucky farmer. We talked about businessman. He stated his stance on Israel in his own words. Let's look at this. This is the first time I'm looking at this. In a written candidate questionnaire published by iVoter Guide, Gallrein answered a direct question about Israel by saying the U.S.-Israel relationship is important for regional stability, described Israel as a democratic society with Western values. Don't get me triggered at 11 p.m. at night. And said, I proudly stand with Israel and the Jewish people. I didn't even need to look it up to know. That's how predictable this is. Trump attacked Massie as a true hater of Israel. Does Trump even realize the country that he's president of, much less make America great again? He's a true hater of Israel. So what if he were? He's not. I criticize him. He's not at all. He's a Israel has a right to defend itself guy. I consider that a Zionist statement. I consider Thomas Massie, believe it or not, I consider Thomas Massie a Zionist. But for Donald Trump, it's not good enough. A true hater of Israel. And that's one of the reasons to go after him. Because he doesn't because he's critical of another country. Matt Gaetz is even critical, even though his brother-in-law is deep, huge Zionist. But and Donald Trump was gonna, did nominate him for AG. That would have been a weird one. I wonder how that path would have went. Even though I don't believe Matt Gaetz is a full, he's the same as Massie there. MTG, same as Massie on this. So everything else, it comes down to Israel. Is basically what it comes down to. So we'll see what happens with that race. I have no idea what's going to happen. Are they going to do a debate or I don't know what? But it almost feels like Massie should move on to something else political, not like MTG in like her quitting way, but in a way that is more powerful. Yeah. So we'll go to. I'm going to go to find out about this gambling and crypto. Then I'm going to end with at the debate about AI, the usage of AI. I want to get back to that again. But there's this. So I didn't know that this company owns Kick. I never really dug into Kick. Kick is a streaming app. Nick Fuentes was on there. Nick actually did some great live streams on Kick. He tried to do like a different style, like a more casual, kind of like a more like a normal, like a Asmongold streaming style. Because Nick's normal show is just straight politics and some jokes, but it's like a deep dive political show. He was doing more of a Asmongold react show on Kick, and he had some great Kick episodes. But I don't think he doesn't do much on Kick anymore because they kind of fell out. But I forgot why he fell out with Kick. But from Twitch to Kick, in late 2022, Stake. So there's this company, Stake, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. That's really what this is about. That company, they hit a roadblock on a platform where they flourished, which was Twitch. There was pressure unknown to me. I wasn't following this over crypto casino streams on Twitch. Twitch announced a policy in October of 2022 banning the streaming of unlicensed gambling sites like stake.com. And we'll talk about stake.com in a minute. The move came after top Twitch creators threatened a boycott, citing the harm of wealthy streamers promoting gambling to minors, feeding addiction. Twitch's new rule outlawed all of that. So that created a problem for Stake that Stake decided to solve by forming Kick.com. This is Epidemic Sound? Is the source for this? I'm just double checking my source here. Is Kick funded by gambling? Why is Epidemic Sound is a website I used to use for music before I found Suno. Are they a part of this? I'm just talking about the source where I'm getting this from is from Epidemic Sound. I don't know what the connection is there. You tell me if you do know. I do have this connected, so let me see if I can. I did pot it down though. What is the connection between why was Epidemic Sound a source for this Stake gambling company going to Kick? Or do they have any relations to Epidemic Sound, or how did that become a source? Yes, it didn't. Can you hear me? I guess not. I'll have to look at that. But so they basically created Kick.com, a streaming platform launched in 2023, and they tried to branded as more creator friendly. Now that I know this, a lot of the stuff, the way that they've been handling things makes sense to me now. The way that they handle things. Because they're there for their own purposes. They're not there for, obviously, being like a creator platform for like alternative stuff. They allow you on there, but that's not like their mission. They were founded and funded by Stake's principles. So Drake and Aiden Ross. So before I get to Drake and Aiden Ross, what is Stake even? Stake is a global crypto casino headquartered offshore. The main site is licensed in Caraco, and it's known that site is known for lenient online gambling regulation. They allow Stake to serve international customers while avoiding stricter oversight in places like the U.S. The founders are Australian entrepreneurs, and they launched Stake in 2017. If you know about Stake, chime in and let me know. And they became the world's largest crypto casino, one of the world's largest crypto casinos. I'm going to turn on ChatGPT just to see if it can pick me up. Because I have a lot of questions here I want to ask, and it's not. Can you hear me? Nope, it's not. That is crazy. Because I have it hooked up into the system there. But it can hear me. Okay. So I want to know a little bit more about Stake. What really is the crypto casino? I'm not really familiar with this. I have notes on here about like what it does. It's a social casino using a dual currency model to mimic compliance with U.S. sweepstakes laws. So it's kind of getting under the radar. It sells gold coins, play tokens with no cash value, and then bundles them with bonus. So give me an example of like what type of things you could bet on this site about. I've already talked to my kid. I've seen this betting thing getting out of hand. And I already talked to my kid about it because, they watch football a little bit. I seen them, he plays football, so he's watching that. And they have gambling commercials, as you might know. And, I already talked to him about it, man. They don't open casinos to lose money. I have not told them don't do anything, but I just tell them that type of background. Do you think they're opening a casino? If a casino is losing money, how long do you think they'd be open? So it is a site where you can fund your play with cryptocurrency instead of a credit card or bank transfer. So what kind of casino? Gold coins for fun. So what you can bet on. So it says it can't view Stake exactly, so just giving you some examples, not necessarily on Stake. Slot style games. That's what Aiden Ross is making his money off of. Drake was doing this too. Slot games. Slot games online. Slot games, it's not much different than slot games in person, but just completely rigged, obviously. You bet a small amount per spin. It's just a slot machine. What? Well, who's betting on this stuff? Then they have blackjack. Do they have poker? I wouldn't get involved with that because it's all rigged, of course. Even though I used to play poker online, it's stupid. Russian roulette. So it's just basically a casino. Sports book style betting, of course. Yeah, I've seen people getting into the political betting and stuff. I used to have Will Cormier. I haven't spoke to him in years. I haven't chatted with. He told me he was out the game. This was like 2022, I think. 2022. Will Cormier was on the channel. He was a great writer. Wonder what's up with him. If you happen to see any videos, Will, holla, man. It's been a minute. I'm in a different place. Will's probably like, I don't even know what's going on. He was doing sports betting. Political betting, which was very interesting. Not to bet, but to talk about the odds and how they're doing it. The odds are almost like the polls nowadays with poly marketing and all that. But I forgot what he had sent me a message, and he's like, I'm out the game, basically. I'm like, damn. He was out the game for real. I haven't heard. I mean, maybe he could have used a different moniker and still on, and maybe I chat with him and don't even know it. But he was his whatever that moniker was. He's out the game. He's not even around. I have not chatted with Will Cormier. We haven't talked since he was on the live. I don't think we talked in person. Maybe a little bit after that, but that was like 2023. That was like 2022. But I'll do a search. He's a great writer. So they're selling this stuff to obviously who listens to Drake, who follows Aiden Ross. They're selling this stuff to kids. I mean, I saw Elijah Schaefer getting involved with it. I'm not even gonna really not. I mean, make your money. I'm not even gonna knock Elijah Schaefer, Aiden Ross. I just find it interesting. So they gave Drake $100 million. Drake was paid in the ballpark of $100 million per year to be Stakes figurehead. I don't know if that deal's still going on. I didn't see that in the notes here. Streamer Aiden Ross has millions of young followers. I don't know what the allure is there, to be honest, for that much of a following, but okay. Likewise, became a paid partner, moving from Twitch to Stake. Kick, and they both promoted Stake, and people have criticized for them, and I think the criticism's fair if you don't like the product, but they got sued. They got a lawsuit. Lawsuits have confirmed that Stake supplied vast amounts of free credits to its streamers, who would then place outrageous bets on stream for entertainment value. I didn't even know they were doing that. Man, it's a dirty game, man. I don't know, man. I'm trying to think if I would do that, man, for $100 million. Damn. For $100 million, I'm going to play casino games online. That's a lot of money, man, but that's a tough one. Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, there's nothing more. I'm trying. I wanted to do a live without the Jays, but it's hard not to. Jake and Aiden are Jays, so I'm gonna move on from that. Just tough. That's a tough one, man. I don't know if that aligns with my values. Well, I know it doesn't, but for $100 mil though, that's a whole different. The values are different at $100 mil than broke nothing. $100 mil, and I don't know what time frame it is. Damn, to go on live and play casino. I wouldn't even be able to. I mean, I couldn't even do it. I mean, it's a weird hypothetical because they'd take the money back because they'd be like, bro, you're not into it enough. Damn. It's a dirty game, man. Dirty world. Dirty game, dirty world. No scruples, man. People have no shame, no scruples, no values. I think a lot of people know that it's over, man. Like no, I don't want to say like black pill to that extent, but it's gonna be a while before anything changes. Let's say that. But I don't want to say it's over. I think actually AI and stuff like that give me a white pill, because it does transfer some power to people, and that's a good transition to the Ashley St. Clair stuff, because that's what that's about. Let's just transition to the Ashley St. Clair stuff. The artificial intelligence, it moves power from the few and hands it to more. Now, to get the full power, you still have to have some resources, money. To get the better version of ChatGPT or whatever one you're using, you've got to pay a little bit of money. So there is a barrier to entry, but more people have power. I've said for a long time, I believe they are dumbing down much of the AI because they don't want plebs to have too much power. The AI is goofy on purpose because of that. The good news is that there's a lot of competition and there are offline AI. So if there was, let's say there was no competition outside of, and no offline outside of ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, Claude, they would dumb it down even more. But because there's competition, thankfully, they're having to, I think, progress the AI, and people are using it to make movies. Damn near, they're making trailers right now because it's a lot of resources. Your RAM is high. If you're a custom computer builder, yeah, your RAM's high because people want to make videos of black women that look like rhinos running in the desert. Yeah, it's not a joke. That is in part why RAM is so high. Companies don't need to make RAM for people because the AI data centers need the RAM. So if we're gonna make RAM for the plebs, it's gonna be expensive. What that also creates is a large barrier to entry if you're going to do your own AI off their servers. This is all a battle of control. This is all relevant to the Ashley St. Clair stuff. Ashley St. Clair just triggers me. I'm not gonna. Ashley St. Clair triggers me to hell. This is again on the AI taking images, and you can manipulate it. I don't know if you're still able to now. I think I've seen some people still doing it, to take a picture of a woman, for example, and to take them from fully clothed to wearing a bikini. Is what the guys are pretty much, or whoever's doing it, it could be girls too, of course, are doing online. That's what they're doing. And your Ashley St. Clairs of the world are saying that's unacceptable. And I'm telling you that it's a battle. This battle has nothing to do with I feel violated and all that kind of stuff. No, this is about power. It is a power play, and she is taking that and using it because you're going to have many women thinking, oh yeah, that makes sense, and backing it. And a lot of politics are women driven nowadays. So you're going to have a lot of women on the backs of this saying, I don't want to see someone being able to take a picture of mine and put an AI bikini on it and share it online. So what that does is it creates a movement for censorship. That's what it does. You can't. How do you get momentum for censorship? It's not easy. Not with Americans. Even where we are now today, even though we are mostly cucked, we don't care. We're now at the point where we're kind of openly allowing people to talk about censoring based on anti-Semitism, for example. We're allowing a lot of that kind of conversation. So we're going more towards censorship, but we're still not there. This is looking like an effective way for them. That's why it triggers me too, for many reasons why. But so Taylor Lorenz is teaming up, basically not officially, but Ashley St. Clair is retweeting, and she's talking with people on what you would say the left, AOC, all going at Elon Musk, and she has her own reasons, her baby daddy, to go after Elon Musk as well. So it's so good for her. This is where she lives right now. This is where she wants to be. So her timeline right now is the whole thing is about on Sarah Higdon. So it's interesting. There's a lot of trans getting involved with this. I'm seeing now too. Ashley St. Clair posted on X about a picture where someone took and put her in a real string type bikini, and the AI kind of morphs the picture. So it kind of it's so weird. It's kind of like the AI stuff I do where I put my own face as AI. You've seen that on the thumbnails. It kind of looks like the real person, but obviously is not the real person. And it kind of, so what does it look like? Maybe it looks, I'm looking at one right now. So it, if you saw the picture without knowing that, you could tell that someone was, it's right on the cusp of, you could tell that someone was trying to make Ashley St. Clair, but you can tell it's not Ashley St. Clair. I say it replicates, and that's a good example of it being bad on purpose, because it can, I know that for a fact, it can exactly or more closely replicate Ashley St. Clair than it does. So even if it did replicate her exactly and put her in a string bikini, I think it should be able to. I want to take off the table. Here's what they do. Ashley St. Clair mixes in kids with this. Very, very nefarious way to do that. She talks about, like, people, I haven't seen that people are reportedly taking younger, underage pictures and doing that. Basically, I don't know what, I guess doing the bikini or whatever they're doing with it where it becomes inappropriate. And Ashley St. Clair is tweeting about it and saying, basically, paraphrasing, and I should find her exact tweet here, where she's saying Grok shouldn't be able to do this to children, and then saying they shouldn't be able to do it to me either, basically to women either. She couldn't give a damn less about children. If she had cared about the children, she wouldn't even talk about herself. She would talk about the children and just say, let's focus on that. She's putting children in with the criticism to help make it harder for someone to say, wait a second, this isn't right. On this show, I posted an AI video. I posted AI videos. Ray and I did AI videos where we're talking about AI Christy Nome, AI AOC, which AI AOC is fixed up AOC. People are posting AI Hannah Pearl Davis. I post the famous AI Nancy Pelosi and had fun with that one. Believe it or not, there's a Nancy Pelosi picture with the blazer, not wearing anything under the blazer, not fully naked, but it's taking a picture of her and putting her in a blazer and actually making her more appealing, let's just say. The Taylor Swift thing came down. I said, absolutely, I'm perfectly fine with it. You see what they're going after? They're just basically going after memes. So can I take Bill Clinton and, well, Epstein already did that, but South Park did something where they took an AI Trump and basically made him naked. I think they made him fully naked. I think it was South Park. It was really weird because it was like real footage, and that's not what you know him for. But the point is, what's the deal with memes? So we can't take a female politician and Anna Paulina Luna. Where is this? She's already got pictures in two pieces. So where does this line stop? Does it look 50% like Ashley St. Clair? Is that too close? Or is it 49%? How do we calculate the percentage? What is actually the goal here? Ashley St. Clair, you opened your legs and you got the bag. I shouldn't be hearing from you right now, much less about censorship. I know this is a shocking, and she's threatening to sue. She's basically your stereotypical hat. The stereotypical Jew is just what she is. Very, very stereotypical. Sounds like one, obviously. Looks like one, obviously. Operates like one. Wants censorship like one, your typical one. And is threatening lawsuits like one. Just textbook, perfect. Does that matter? Absolutely it matters. Absolutely it matters. Pattern recognition matters. You do it when it comes to the left. You do it when it comes to other groups. You do it with blacks. You do it with others. Yes, we're going to do it with them too. Absolutely we are. She's threatening to sue Isabella Moody, friend of the show, because Isabella Moody was really involved and she was riding the algorithm, but doing her thing. She works hard. Her and her husband, friends of the show, but she's trying to sue Ashley. I guess they used to be friends, and she exposed some, private messages and stuff like that. I don't condone that, but she goes, not Ashley, Isabella Moody, she goes hard. That's how she goes. She goes full blow, 100. Ashley St. Clair has always been somewhat a type of an op to me. And I think we've proven that. She's an open her legs op to get a baby with Elon Musk op. She started her career by looking for, let's just say, big things that are black, like bananas. Literally. How she started her career. And she was a leftist to start her career. I mean, she never changed, but then she phony cozied up to the right. She even ran in circles with Nick Fuentes in a way. She says a lot of things, not a lot, but she has some things I like. When she is trying to be authentic, she makes sense. This is not authentic here. This is an attack on just basic expression. That's what's happening here. There is no purpose for stopping that. Absolutely no purpose other than censorship. It is no different than Brigitte Macron in France saying, you can't call me a man, you go to jail for 6 months. It's the same thing. What do you mean I can't call you a man? I can call you whatever the hell I want to call you. So can I do a meme of there's a couple transgenders who are backing up Ashley St. Clair? I find that interesting. Is that because the transgenders now we've become full woke, just back to full wokeness? You can't. I saw somebody take a picture of one of the transgenders. That's it looks like a transgender man trying to present as a woman and turned it into a man with a mustache. Is that not allowed now because of the feelings? What's allowed or not? The app X allows full blown prawn. That's not a problem. But taking a picture of I actually think it should be allowed, but just to be consistent, the full blown prawn is not a problem. I never seen any kind of big uproar about it like this from Ashley St. Clair. That's not a problem. She's not talking about it as a problem in relations to this. So the prawn's not a problem, but the bikininess stuff is a problem. No, you can be taken down to earth like everybody else. Nobody cares to put some random person in a bikini. Maybe you can, but who cares? This is about taking prominent people who are well off, famous. It doesn't matter if they're well off or not, but they're well known. With fame comes downside. You can be criticized. We can make Trump memes with an emperor with no clothes on. That's what South Park did. That is the American spirit. There is no memester that should be backing this. That means the end of your memes. There's not a meme you could make what's the founding principle of there's nothing 18 plus about the photo. What can I put it? Can I take a picture of the St. Clair and put her in a halter top? Or I don't even know what women's clothing is, but a half top. Can I put her in a sports bra? Where does this end? It makes no sense. And don't try to put children stuff in it. That's not what I'm talking about. That's a deflection. That's a disingenuous conversation. I'm talking about the right to make AOC actually hot. Same with Taylor Swift. For some reason, they look like they should be hot. They're not hot to me, but you put them in AI and you got something. I'm fighting for your rights. And it is a hill I'm going to die on. I would die on. Absolutely. You will. I am very, very triggered by this conversation. And as they keep having this conversation, I'm going to crash the hell out more and more and more. And I actually liked Ashley St. Clair. I never Another person. All these people I never had really beef with at all. And you see that our philosophies are dividing. We have nothing in common. We're actually enemies. Laura Loomer. Used to love Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer was great. I still think she's talented, but we're done. We can disagree on homie Carlos, friend of the show, Prime Animations. We can talk about these topics and maybe have respectful disagreement on them. That is possible. Comic Dave Smith is friends with Jake Shields. Jake Shields had no problem with that. That is possible. There is no need for this type of divide of a crash out. But that's basically the take on the AI stuff. I'm going to take a look at some comments and they'll be out. Let's see here. I don't even have my glasses down here, so I'm squinting, guys. Let me look at this congressman. Indiana Congressman Jim Beard. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm getting reports of what would sound like a tragic incident with a Congressman Jim Beard from Indiana that happened. Look that up for me. What's going on? I'm also almost curious about like what's the history of Congress people in car accidents. Seems to be happening a lot. See what he looks like. See if I recognize him. I don't even recognize him. Oh, discharged. Okay, so something happened, but he's alive though. Is what it looks like. I just did a quick Google search because I'm on a heavy thinking. It's going to take a while. Rep and wife were hospitalized after a car accident. Okay, so thankfully, I don't even know him. I don't follow him. So it looks like thankfully he's okay. He was discharged. So I don't know what happened to his wife, but hopefully she's okay as well. You hear a car accident, you go immediately to the worst case scenario. But I've talked about, I think full self-driving solves that, to be honest with you. Solves a lot of it. I mean, you still will have accidents, but it oh my goodness, it takes it down a lot. All right, I'm gonna be out. I did look at the Daily Wire thing. I don't know what's going on with Daily Wire. I guess I could kind of cover that real quick. I'm gonna drop I don't need to look up the congressman stuff there. So this happened yesterday, I believe January 5th. So this was posted January 5th at 2 p.m. my time from the Candace Owens podcast. This was the Daily Wire, and it says previously aired March 9th, 2021. So that means we know that they're doing that so you know it's not an accident. Because otherwise you would have to think.
Are we rolling?
So they basically post, and I'm showing here, they basically post the trailer from when Candace Owens first joined the Daily Wire. And there's no joke or anything with it. And I get it. I get it's to cause a buzz. And I guess you say get an A or an F. Any attention is good attention. But it's confusing though. So is it good attention? it's confusing and it's not good for the brand. Like, what is the brand here? To post an old Candace Owens, like what? And you can tell it's trying to ride the algorithm. They still have ownership of the Candace Owens podcast branding from the Daily Wire, and she's trending all the time. You want to ride the algorithm. How do you do that? You typically just talk about her. That's why you look at YouTube right now. YouTube has allowed a lot of Nick Fuentes stuff, so everybody's talking about Nick Fuentes, and it's getting views now. And he's not allowed on the platform, which is crazy. But and so everybody's gonna just keep talking about it because we, just looking for views. At the very least, I'm actually a fan. Been talking about Nick Fuentes for years now, but back when it wasn't, you weren't gonna get an algorithmic boost to talk about him. Now you might get a little bit. I think my videos have gotten more to talk about him, but it's more also who's your audience. But you just talk about Candace. If you want to ride the algorithm, just keep talking about her. That's what everybody else is doing. That's what everybody else is doing, is talking about Candace, and then that you ride kind of the Candace search. What did Candace say? What did Candace say about Charlie Kirk today? You don't do that. So you give Candace Owens a chance to look better. I don't know what's going on. They're working in tandem or something?
About an hour before we went live, a bunch of people were messaging me saying that the Daily Wire had brought back my old YouTube channel. They had seemingly deleted it. Apparently, they just privatized it and they brought it back. And as you can see, they premiered an old trailer from when I was joining the Daily Wire. And this wasn't a mistake. This was not a mistake because they put a card in the front that said this was shot in 2021. So what are they doing? They also did the same thing on Instagram. My old Instagram channel, they re-released my trailer from when I was first joining them. So clearly they're trying to get attention for something. And I can tell you what that something is. I love scooping.
I don't hate anybody, but I'm not a Candace Owens fan. I'm out because of the whole what happened with Nick Fuentes, but I don't respect her for that and other stuff. She's just always annoying me, but she is really talented. I mean, she's damn talented. I mean, she has smack talk out the yin yang. I mean, she could. She was on the Joe Budden podcast. I never did a full react to that. She was. I mean, they loved her on there. They got criticism because she's on the right, but Joe Budden loves her because she's just such a good trash talker. She's almost like she's a rap, hip hop artist. She could write bars. And I stopped this because don't miss. She's talking about the Daily Wire. And she's like, the Daily Wire is like a ex that won't leave you alone.
People when they're just being weird. First, I should say, I did have a little bit of sympathy over this break. I would like to apologize to the midget horse. The midget horse never deserved the FU. There's nothing wrong with being a midget horse. And I was a little fired up and I attacked a small horse that probably did nothing wrong, if I'm being honest. Now, more broadly speaking, the reason I had sort of snapped at the end of last year is that it has been a very long road, as I showed you an example of me just trying to be fired like a normal person. Just so you guys know, in a normal world, your employer, if they fire you, that should be the last you hear of them. You should not then have them follow you to events, calling people to try to get you canceled from speaking events, putting pressure on people, lawsuits. That's actually toxic. And when I said to people that it was getting to a point where I felt like I was being stalked by them, I said this like privately. I said, I genuinely feel like when you break up with someone and you have a crazy ex, that was how it felt like being fired from the Daily Wire. Except in this circumstance, the ex broke up with you, but then I guess like maybe changed their mind or just didn't want to see you move on and be happy or successful. There was an element of this that felt, and I truly am not trying to be dramatic here, it felt like a crazy ex-stalker. Like, if I can't have you, nobody can have you, And so to connect this point, to build this corollary for you guys, that was how I felt. That was what I was expressing to you at the end of last year, that I was done with it. Right? I was like, I'm leaving Daily Wire in 2025, come hell or high water. Well, they want hell or high water because it turns out the reason they're doing this and doing it on my channel is because they are trying to hard launch a young woman named Madison Bransford. Okay. Now she's apparently an intern at the Daily Wire, and they're basically dropping like an iCarly type Nickelodeon feel show where she's going to make fun of me. And the show is entitled In the No, because apparently they watch every second of my show, which they've been doing for a very long time. They used to send clips and have people make fun of me when I was first getting started. And so now, because they still can't let me go, and since Ben is now on stage bringing me up and saying, we don't know, but we know, like it's giving crazy ex-stalker. They're now launching a show with this girl. I'm sure she's a lovely human being. It's basically like they tried to find someone that's similar to Brett, but it's not at all because it's not mature. And she's just going to make fun of this show. So that's what the Daily Wire has in store. I'm sorry to have scooped you on this new brilliant idea to hard launch something on my socials of somebody making fun of me. I'm sure you thought that was going to get some like huge applaud. It's weird.
So how did they? It's a terrible idea, obviously, to begin with. We don't even need to get into that. But how did they let Candace Owens scoop them on it? Then it makes her look good. She clowns them as the crazy ex, which is a great analogy. And the show is ridiculous. What's going on at the Daily Wire? And I'm starting to think they've been trash. As they were going downhill when Jeremy Boring was there. And I did criticize Jeremy Boring. Obviously, after Brett Cooper left, he was acting a fool. But it still seems like they were better with Jeremy Boring at CEO. What's happening? I don't know what the decisions are. Jeremy Boring was CEO at their peak. Jeremy Boring had the conversation with Nick. You can't convince me that if Jeremy Boring was still there and was still had creative control, that this would be trashed. You can't convince me that.
It makes me uncomfortable, if I'm being frank. I'd like you guys to move on. I understand now. You're never going to stop. This is just what we are. You're forever going to obsess about everything that I'm doing.
She doesn't even talk about them like that. She reacts when they react. When, like TPUSA, Ben Shapiro was on the stage, she reacted to it. But from what I've seen of her show, she's not really even talking about them. They're irrelevant. There's no reason to be talking about Daily Wire.
It's a bad idea. I would kill it if I were you guys, but I see that you've already made a significant investment. And I hope it works out. I hope a person dedicated to making fun of me in the note, I hope it works out for young.
Is she a comedian? Like, because I think, what's her name? Why wouldn't you get somebody like, is it too much to pay Chrissy Mayer? Is her name? I don't think she likes Candace Owens. I bet you Chrissy Mayer would that's the wrong account. That's a Chrissy Mayer. That's a funny account. I love that account though. And I like Chrissy Mayer. So I don't have any beef with her now. But it kind of feels like you would hire somebody with some talent. There's no talent here. Here's the clip, and Candace Owens scooped them.
Utah state flag is a hexagonal beehive.
All right, let's try this. Let's really try this, okay? Chronologically. Utah adopts the beehive symbol in 1948. Fast forward 175 years later, people start using bee language as codes.
And I communicate with them by dancing.
People that use the code, they're clearly communists because communists work together. They follow a hive mind. Yes, queen. Underground. Communists. Mormons live in Utah. I watched The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I know what's going on here.
They've always been known as the beehive state. And to be clear, it's not because they make honey. It's not because they have a high presence of bees. In fact, in terms of making honey or bee-related products, they rank number 24. It's actually the beehive state. It relates to the Mormon church, the Church of Latter-day Saints. Early Mormon pioneers founded that state, and they liked the idea of a beehive working toward a common good. Now, if that sounds vaguely familiar or communist to you, the idea of worker bees, yes, that's where it's from.
Did the Mormons know that the bees were commies in 1948? Did anybody watch that South Park episode? You know what? None of this matters. Let's get to her conclusion.
Ugh. Yeah, that's. Oh man, that's. I know it's get an A or an F, but that's probably too bad. That's not. That's like there was that sitcom, that animated sitcom that somebody was trying to make. That was so bad. I forgot the name of it. This is worse than that. At least that clip. That's horrific. Don't release that. All right, you know what? No, release it. Release it. No, I need it. I need it now. It is so bad that I need it. I do want it. Man. Stuff is crazy out here. But I'm going to be out. Believe it or not, I think I might work out. I know I'm sleepy and all, but I did do my coffee. And I am going to hit the gym. I am. Believe it or not. I got a Anytime Fitness 24/7, and I can feel good. I do. It is getting to bed late, but I can operate pretty good on low sleep. Not that you want to really do it, but I'm just gonna play around with the music here. Let's see. Okay, that was that beat I did. Okay. Okay. I'm out. Peace.
Candles in the timeline, smoke in the comments, grief turned to theory, spirals in the sermons, sirens in the distance, silence in the footage. Everybody's certain, nobody ever proves it. We watch the fire bringing mute in mid-sentence. Now the void gets populated with vengeance. They say lone operator, case closed, tidy package, but the timeline's full of gaps, missing traffic, DNA on the metal. But where's the moving picture? No campus angle, no shadow, no witness filter. Friends turn into factions, trust starts malfunctioning. I'm mourning and I'm measuring who benefits from nothing. My chest feels pneumatic. Pressure keeps inflating. I don't want the truth unedited. Not a new rating, every obvious answer feel like stage direction. Every settled headline leaks another question. We're grieving in the static, praying for a pattern. Hush hush in the hallways, hands behind the curtain. One voice turns to silence, then the lines are shattered. If they got away clean, who's next on the platter? We're grieving in the static, praying for a pattern. Hush hush in the hallways, hands behind the curtain. Hold the line of black pill, pick your broken banner. Tell me who profits when the truth gets thinner. Some go full nihilistic, call it all pre-written. Some stay disciplined, steady, say do not quit it. But even the faithful feel the fraction in the handshake. Everybody scanning for the tell in a blank face. I keep replaying speeches like a vigil in my ear. Trying to separate the anger from the fear. Index red on the screen, but the room stays dimmer. Because grief has a gravity and doubt's a swimmer. If the record is complete, why does it feel incomplete? If the story is simple, why the pressure on repeat? I'm not asking for a martyr, I'm asking for a map. I'm not chasing every phantom, I'm tracing every gap. Osiris in the rear view, watching me recalibrate. I just want the straight line, not the manufactured fake. We're grieving in the static, praying for a pattern. I'm touching the hallways, hands behind the curtain. One voice turned to silence, then the lines are shattered. If they got away clean, who's next on the platter? We're grieving in the static, praying for a pattern. Hush hush in the hallways, hands behind the curtain. Hold a line of black pill, pick your broken banner. Tell me who profits when the truth gets thinner. Candles burn the questions, ashes on the dashboard. Keep the name alive, but without that side the back door. Silence doesn't mean finish, it means there goes bigger. So I listen for the baseline, where the truth is quicker.